Welcome to Into the Dark Dungeon Silver Mine. Thanks for taking time away from watching K-pop Demon Hunters again to join me here at the table for some dungeon crawling. Let's go to Board Game Geek and take a look at what we've got here. So this says 1 to 5 players. It's really 1 to 4 players and 1 person can control the enemies in the dungeon, so it's a little different. I didn't even bother reading most of those rules because I'm going to be playing solo with a single character. It is very short. It does say 30 to 90 minutes there, and every time I have sat down to play so far, it's been around an hour, I'd say, somewhere around there. So yeah, that's about right. And the weight and the complexity over here of 2.0 might be a little generous. It's not that hard. You're rolling dice and just comparing the numbers. It's pretty straightforward. It's not difficult in any way. The only difficulty is if the dice hate you, that night. This was a very small print run. Look at this. This is the Kickstarter page for this. 1,727 backers. I don't know how many were actually made, or if you can still get this now, maybe from the creators. But it's this is not a game that you're going to find on the shelf at Target. Is basically what I'm saying here. But that's kind of also the appeal to me. Is like I like seeing all these other games that aren't going. I like seeing all the games that are on the shelves at Target as well. But everything. And this is something that's like special to me because you can't just go to the store and go get this, right? I love finding stuff like this on Kickstarter or wherever. So what do we have here? Now you have 1 of 4 characters you can choose from. I'm going to go with the warrior here on this playthrough. Imagine that. Let me give you a little round of story. Maybe I don't read this out loud and you can just pause the video and go ahead and read this if you care. I always like a little bit of flavor with just about every game, so it doesn't hurt to have a paragraph or 3 that kind of tells you what's going on. Basically, you are starting out with next to nothing, going into a dungeon, and the dungeon is all coming from all of these cards, and the number of cards you have here make you think this game is going to take hours. But in every game I've played so far, you wind up getting between 6 and I want to say 10, but I feel like I've never seen 10. I want to say 6 to 8 cards has been my average play. So for like it's just a single run into the dungeon, and I'm trying to figure out how to play it best because the solo mode just says try to make as much silver as you can, and it's basically a beat your own score, which I don't find that kind of thing fun. So what's been working for me is to do they have like a campaign mode sort of where you can do these quests and you can get these titles. Here, let's pull up the titles. Here we go. So you can start out as Vagabond, wind up as a hero. Basically, you would run through as many dungeons as it takes to get those quests fulfilled. And the way I've been doing it is pick from the easy quest because you have to go in order. And then if I can complete it or not, and I leave the dungeon resets every time, right? I can't go back into that same dungeon to go finish it off after coming to town and resting or whatever. Just the way I've been playing it is like roguelike-y style, and I've been having a pretty good time doing that. And it gives me a goal beyond just, see how many points I can get, in silver. So yeah, that's been working for me. So we're just gonna do like a plain first run here. Your characters here, let me take the card for the warrior and put it out here so hopefully we can see that well. Look at that. So the warrior, the circles are your default stats. So the stats, let's pull this up. Oh, look at that. I can almost have it all on the screen at once. You're kidding me. All right. Okay, so attack, you have an attack attribute. You add it to your combat rolls, right? You have 2 dice. One is you, one is the enemy. You roll them, you add your attack attribute, you add theirs, and whoever won that, the other person takes a damage. Very straightforward. Move. How many squares you can move on any given turn, which is a weird thing in solo mode, because if there's no enemies on there, there's no dungeon turn, which means I can kind of just run around as I see fit. The torch, this is a stat. So it says used to explore new halls and loot containers. And it has the weirdest mechanics. If all torches are spent, a random boss enemy enters the dungeon from the game where the player, or from the gate where the player who used all torches previously entered. Which makes a little bit more sense, I guess, if you are talking about like a multiplayer game, I guess. But in solo mode, it's just like you run out of torches, and now there's like a boss on you, and the bosses are brutal. They have way too many hit points. Then you have your hit points at the bottom there, and that little thing at the bottom is very important. This thing down here, this tells you how much you can carry, and I believe every character can only carry 3 items. I think they all have the same little symbol down there. I don't think any one character has any more than that. Did I mention how small this box is? I don't think I did. Look at the size of this thing, right? And I am not a giant. It's very, very tiny. I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to get all these cards back in here now that they are sleeved. I actually haven't tried it out yet. I don't know. Oh, no! This is a pet peeve of mine. Okay, so one of these cubes, here it is, has a thing on one side, like a little logo. See that? That's how I know that's me, the warrior. The warrior has that little logo up here in the corner, and it's only on one side of the cubes. Same for the enemies, right? Which, totally get it. I totally understand that, you know, cost-wise, it would probably be murder for a game of this size to try to print on all 6 sides of a cube. But, man, are they easy to lose in your pile of cubes? I can't believe it happened before I even started the game, because I figured it would happen at some point. So anyway, that's a little weird. Anyway, these 3 little cards down here tell you your inventory limits, which is 3 cards. And you get, according to the manual, some starting gear. And if you're playing with one character, you get 3 starting cards. And I guess it doesn't have to be these 3. These are the 3 you can choose from. I could take 3 keys, right? But I'm going to take one of each just so we can see the mechanics of all this stuff, right? Which is pretty straightforward. The tools, they're going to be good for treasure chest opening, I think, and perhaps, and disarming traps, right? Yeah, treasure chests and traps. And it only has a single use. And then you have a master key here, which is going to be for locked doors and chests. And then I have a spare, like an extra torch. So literally I have 4 on my torch thing here, but I'm starting with 3 and an extra one like in my bag. There's a mechanical reason for this. I can't go higher than that 4, right? So I depending on what our first room looks like, I might want to blow that torch right away. So I bump it up to 4. You search better with your torches out. So that basically explains all of that in our inventory, our actions that we can take, right? So we can pick up and drop and trade as many things as we want per a given turn. And turns make a little bit more sense when you have multiplayer in this. There's a little ricketiness in the solo rules, I feel like, here. The special power is something that we won't even have this playthrough. That requires a trip back to town, and I'm leaving town before that, I guess. I'm heading right on in. You have to have a title to get to the path. I guess maybe I'll explain it a little bit better than that. There's a tree in town that, as far as I can figure, you're just like, you go to the tree and like meditate under it and pick a path, right? And so the little symbols are might, wisdom, whatever the other one is, I can't even remember now. So like the warrior has a little triangle icon, right? So if you look at these, there's only 6 of these, but here, for example, the path of the iron. You can see it has that little symbol over there, right? Same as what's on my card here. And then you have, it says title required is vagabond. So you can see you need to at least be a vagabond, which means you have to at least finish one easy quest before you can go meditate under this tree. And then the way it works is it charges up. So that little symbol there is a successful hit. This little symbol here, and every time I have a successful hit in combat, it charges up until I get to the star, and then I can use that special power one single time. And on the back of this, I can flip this over, and there's the Pathfinder version of it. Not of the same skill, it's a different skill. But I can choose this, and I can flip between the 2 if I want, and it resets your level of charge if you decide to do that in the middle of a dungeon or whatever. But that one requires Vagabond, which is Vagabond, I had it backwards, and Pathfinder. Pathfinder is level 3, and Vagabond is level 1. So those are what you needed to get the skills. They're, I don't know, I guess, evenly distributed. There's 2 of each here, it looks like. So there's that. This seems like it would be a really good way to extend the game, like with an expansion type thing, right? So anyway, there's the tree. The town is all this stuff from where I have the tokens I might need to the left here, and then this is just like dungeon enemies and whatnot. These are bosses hiding out in the corner here. These are regular enemies, so we'll get to that in a little bit. You can move. You can move as many squares as the character's current speed allows. So on the warrior here, it's a 4. Okay, now you can also optionally run if it's the only thing that you do that turn, adding +2 to your movement, but it also requires that you have a torch. Okay? Interact. You can loot things, and we'll get to that. You can unlock doors. We'll get to that at some point. I hope, anyway, we'll see all this while we play. We can disarm, or we can trigger traps, and we can attack. So, and this is another weird thing, because I find myself in a situation more than once where I could probably attack twice, right? Like the enemies are close together, but then the rules never actually say you can only do these things once per turn. But then that wouldn't make sense for move, because then you could move all over. It's just really strange. I don't know. It's clarified on the forums somewhere, I'm sure of it. And then you can use and equip items and things like that. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Then, when you're walking from room to room, you basically just flip over a dungeon card, and there you go. You can lay it down in any of the 2 possible directions that it would match up, and that's that. Then you put little cubes out on the board. It all ends up looking super cool. It actually might not look as awesome as it does in person, because the angle I have of the view has all these little cubes out here. You're going to be directly overhead, so it might not have the same cool effect of having all the little cubes on the board, and you can kind of get down at it and look. And in fact, the best representation of what I'm saying is that picture right there. It just looks super cool when you got all this stuff going on. Okay, what do we have next here? Combat is dead easy. We roll 1 die and add the attack attribute to determine my hit score. Then you do that for the enemy. Whoever, has the higher number deals the point of damage. Combat goes back and forth until somebody dies. Now, another weird thing is it's not mentioned in the book, but I found it on the forums, is every single round of combat like that is a round in the game, meaning if you're poisoned or whatever, you're triggering that during combat as well, not just like, oh, you got out of combat and now you're poisoned, and every 2 turns, you get damaged or it goes away or whatever the case may be. So you have to keep track of that while you're in combat. You can run away from combat, so we might not end up doing that. I don't know, but we can revisit these rules here. When you're in the dungeon, these are the symbols you're going to see on the cards. So enemies, traps, a campfire, and some loot. That's basically it for that. We can search these things. Now, thankfully, opening a sack is always going to generate some coin. It doesn't require anything special. Opening a crate, though, you roll and you add your torch attribute to it. And it has to be a 5 or higher to gain 1 item. Otherwise, you fail. Like, it's not that you fail; it's that it was empty, I guess, is a better way to phrase it. I think in the manual, it specifically does call that out too. Is that it's not that you failed; it's that it's just empty. There's just nothing in it. Sadly, it just gets harder to open a tomb or a chest, and all that stuff. But how cool is this? You crack open a barrel, and you get a torch out of it. That makes perfect sense. Actually, same thing for the campfire. You get to heal 1 life and increase your torch count by 1. Now, one of the things that was really hard to get over in this game for me to figure out and wrap my head around was, you're not in here for the long haul. You're not in here to try to get through all, 30 of these dungeon cards. Like I said, you're going to get through 6, and then you're going to hightail it out of there and take what you can and try not to die. And then when you get back to town, you can pay the innkeeper to heal you and reset all your stuff, right? So for 5 silver, you can heal yourself back to max hit points. We have 8. You can... I guess that's probably really all there is to it. There's not much else going on. I guess it fills... maybe it's just that, yeah. And you have to buy torches and stuff, too. I'm going to have to double-check on the manual on some of that stuff, because it's not super clear on some of these things. So I do have the PDF here too of the manual we can flip through, and you can see it's not very long. It's kind of nice and short, really. These are small pages. Here, let's read it now. You can spend 5 coins to reset and restore your attributes life and torch, okay, to the original starting values. That's good to know. I wasn't so sure about torch. And then add the bonus attributes from the equipped weapon and or runes. Otherwise, your character's attributes will remain unchanged. So one of the interesting things about this game is there's not a lot... Maybe interesting isn't the word I want. It's different than a lot of dungeon crawlers where you get a ton of loot and a ton of gear. I am limited to carrying only 3 things, and over here is where I put a quest, and over here is where I put a weapon, and that's it. There's no shields, no armor, no helmet, no breastplate, no leggings, no boots. None of the stuff that you want in a dungeon crawl is in this game, and that's took some like thinking. That took some effort for me to get over. The dice that it comes with are perfectly fine, but I find because they have like the super rounded edges, they tend to spin. So I'm gonna just substitute some dice I have that have a little bit more squared off edges. There might be a little bit easier to see on here, but just know that the game does come with dice. I'm just not going to use them. I will be using these dice. I'll be red. That's easy for me to remember, otherwise I'll screw that up. And I think, let's see here, a quick look at the enemies. There's goblins, and they are absolute jerks. There are rats and spiders, and then there are 4 bosses, 2 of which are wargs, if I recall. Let's take a look at the bosses real fast here. So the bosses, yeah, you have a warg. Let me put this out here. Look at that. So there's a warg, and then you have another warg. I don't know why you have 2 different wargs. I mean, you only have 4 bosses. You couldn't make 4 bosses? That does seem a little weird to me, right? But, you know, hey, whatever. And then we have the Goblin Chief. That guy's a nightmare. And this dude, talk about a nightmare. You're not beating the Troll Warrior. That's just all there is to it. That Troll Warrior is going to beat you down. What you probably can do is run faster than the Troll Warrior, though. So we're going to go ahead and give these a bit of a shuffle. And let's see, what else do we have? I think that's mostly it. While I'm shuffling some of these cards here, I'm going to complain for a second here. The manual needs some serious looking at, and I feel like it's not the worst manual in the world, but it's a contender, right? it's got some problems. Some things just flat out aren't mentioned. You really need to go to the forums and go take a look and just see what the designer's there answering questions, but it's super weird because, like, I mean, look at the amount of questions here. 27 rules, right? I mean, again, this is a small print run. These are probably the same, like 6 people, 10 people asking the questions here. But there's a reason why there's so many questions here. You know, almost 3/4 of the forum are in the rules section here. It's just a little weird, and it's a shame because it's not that hard of a game, but reading this book is just like, man, some of these rules they're just not there. They don't make any sense. I've selected a few of my favorites. Okay, so loot from combat. This is just a weird one, right? Okay, so item cards and or coins. The winner of the combat gains the defeated's items if there is space in their inventory. Otherwise, the items drop to the ground, right? You can't like why can't I switch, right? Why can't I be like, oh, it's all part of the whole combat thing. I killed this guy. I grabbed his loot. I threw my master key on the ground because I wanted something else. And why does a master key take up the same amount of space as, you know, one of these other things I'm going to find in here? It's just a little weird, okay? But the weirdest part of this, when a character enters a hall with enemies and has available torches, they can see the items that enemies carry. The card is face up. Otherwise, the items remain hidden until the enemies are defeated. The card is face down. I don't have any idea why that has any bearing on anything. The enemies almost move faster than I do, so it seems like it doesn't matter. They're going to chase you down and kill you anyway. I have yet to run into a situation where I'm like, wow, I need to tackle that guy first and get that item because it's the thing I need or whatever. Like it just doesn't happen. Maybe in the higher quests. I've actually never lived long enough to get to like the super high-end quests. We'll talk about the quest master at some point here. This other thing, during setup, they mention a quest, right? In front of you, place the character, quest, starting items, guide, and stash card. Quests are like not mentioned in the book whatsoever until like the last page where it just tells you what all the quests are. What it really is supposed to say is, hey, you don't shuffle the quests. You can pick one at random if you want, but like you're never gonna do some of the high-end ones right away, right? Well, maybe. Oh, those aren't. Those are the personal quests, which are separate as well. Gates. Find all 4 gates, right? That's going to be next to impossible. Collect 3 weapons. Like that's well, it's not impossible because you can save them between runs. Okay, anyway. So what you want is easy quests, right? So you want to take a look at your easy quests, and you have to because you have to go in the order here, right? So what the line missing from the manual is when you start the game, pick a quest. Like you get to pick a quest, and it doesn't have just pick a quest in there. At some point, it's like tried to be flavorful. Like it says, like the quest master will reveal the available quests to you. That makes it sound like it's a market. Like, oh, it's a random shuffle. There's 5 quests. Pick one. That's what that makes that sound like. It doesn't say just pick a damn quest, right? So we have explore 6 halls. That's easy. See, it has a little E next to it. Loot 3 crates. That's harder than it sounds. Unlock 2 doors. That's great, especially because you start with a master key. And collect 4 heads. What? I don't have any idea what that means. I truly have absolutely no idea what that means. So I think for this run here, let's do cartographer. Okay, let's do cartographer. I'm gonna set that over here, and you can see that when you go back to town, you go visit this dude. He gives you a reward: 5 coins to complete an easy quest, 5 coins in an item, 5 coins in a book is pretty amazing. There's another thing that's like not really mentioned very well: the mystic. So the mystic here has, you can buy books from the mystic. There's a pretty good sized stack of books here, and they have those same little symbols up in the corner. So this would be for a warrior, a strength based character only. So giant strength. This says it's a tier 2 spell. +2, +2, +2. I don't have any idea what that means. These are supposed to be like knowledge that you've gained. They're not actual items that you carry around. You keep them in your stash, which is this here. This is what you have back at the crib, I guess. So you can put coins and books in there. That's what it says. Okay, and that's so that your money stays safe. So if you go to the dungeon and die, you don't lose it. You don't really die. I have no idea why you would want to stash it in the safe. I've just been playing it like, well, I die, and that's game over, and I've been having a lot of fun doing it that way. And then it has the list of titles on there. You can track with the little 1 through 6 down here as well. That's fine and dandy and all, but it's just super strange to me because they're not explained very well at all. I don't really know what the upper limit is here. Like, I have no idea what some of these things... Oh, that one's fleeing combat without taking damage when you turn your back. I know what that one is. Trader, so when you buy things and sell things, it's cheaper, or you get more money back. Maybe this giant strength... Actually, there's 2 giant strengths in here, and you can't have the same book twice. I know that. Maybe you get to use these once per trip into the dungeon. They fill up to 3 when you start your dungeon run, and then you can use that 3 times, maybe. And then so for like the whole turn. Anyway, these are like permanent powers. And so in place of gear, these are what you're after, are these like knowledge cards, right? They call them books, but they're like knowledge, right? They're like skills, right? Apparently the innkeeper here for $2 can have some rumors as well. So let's just take a look at some of these rumors. There's a rumor here, let's see, of campfires with provisions in the silver mine. Gain 2 life and 2 torches during a short rest. Did I talk about short rests at all? Oh, I don't think I put anything in here for short rest, did I? That's a bummer. We'll have to figure that one out. Yeah, I don't think I did. Okay, well, we'll have to get to that at some other point. Let's see here. There's a rumor that braziers are still burning in the silver mine, right? So this is pretty cool because this is saying to you that, hey, you don't have to use a torch in the first 3 turns. Now, in the first couple of turns, like maybe by turn 2, you can get to where you would need a torch to open a door, like to go to a new card. So that's like a really cool one. I kind of dig that. So anyway, there are things like that that just kind of spice up the first couple of turns. It looks like there's even a tracker, a time tracker on the innkeeper card right there. What else do we have? Oh, precision is the name of the thing. There it is. Magic, strength, and then the crosshair thing there is precision. Okay. All right. So what else needs? Nothing else needs. I have shuffled these things a million times. I believe we're good to go now. Okay. So what we are going to do is to build this dungeon. 25 minutes of yammering on and on, or however long it's been. Okay. So your dungeon deck looks like this. You've got 4 gates and then a bunch of halls. There is a distinction. They are not all the same. So we're just going to pick a random door to start. This is how you enter, okay? Then you are going to shuffle these 3 gates into the deck somewhere. I'm going to just put them in there and then just shuffle these up. And my going pattern here has been to shuffle them a couple of times and then just to make sure a gate is not on top. That's just what I've been doing. There's no reason that you can't do that. I just don't. It seems like I want to be trapped in the dungeon for a little while. So, but like this would be no good, right? So I'm going to give it another shuffle here. And here we go. So there's no dungeon on top. We've got some enemies here. There's, you know, rats, what I say, spiders and goblins, right? Okay. And the goblins are jerks, man. Okay, so we've got those, we've got those. This is all silver, and then this is like the door is locked or unlocked, and then this is you've been poisoned or diseased or something. I haven't actually had to remember it too well because as soon as it happens, I wind up dying. They're brutal. They are brutal. So, okay. Let's take a quick break for a second here once we lay out the dungeon. So I'm going to do it this way, and I know I don't know if I'm going to need all this space. I wish I could be zoomed in more so you can just see how cool some of the stuff is on here. But I think we start outside of the dungeon. Like one move is going to be right there, right? So you can see this card has a little sack on it there, right? So we know that we can get over to the sack. So we're going to do this, we're going to put this here, and that's the setup. So I'm just going to stop this right here real quick for just a quick second here, get myself some water, make sure I've got everything I need, and I'll be right back. I did have short rest on there. It's at the bottom of interact, short rest, right there. End your turn adjacent to a campfire and gain 1 life and 1 torch. Okay. Just so that we're all clear, and then these are the red ones up here, so these are campfire red, right? We're going to use those, and there's other colors too. There's like purple and blue and green, I guess, for the other characters, but this guy happens to be orange, so I'm going to use orange, and thankfully it's pretty easy to see the orange out here on this screen. So now, this is the weird situation of we don't have any active timers at the moment. Oh, and by the way, yes, you do not start with a weapon. We don't have any timers. We don't have anything that is going to require any keeping track of things. And the reason why I mention this is because there's going to be no dungeon turn this round, right? So I should move my 4 spaces. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, okay, it's the end of my turn. Next round. 1, 2, 3, 4. That gets really old really fast until you need to keep track of stuff, then it becomes important. But for now, when you're in a situation like this, if there's no enemies there, if you've killed every enemy or they're not responsive for whatever reason, you're kind of free roaming on stuff. So it's just something that you just have to kind of get used to. Now, what is this white cube? Hiding underneath that is a little sack. So our sack, you can see, roll a die. So we're going to do that right now. If it's a 1 or 2, take 1 coin. If it is 3 or 4, take 2 coins. If it's 5 or 6, take 3 coins. Now, you might see me looking down here and there, and these 2 cards I have down here are the player aids they give you. Believe it or not, they're fantastic, and everything you need is written right on them. That's one side of it, and this is the other side of it, right? So it tells you what you can do while you rest. It tells you your list of actions, right? So it's easy to remember what you can do. That's fabulous and all. But this one is the handy one, right? It tells you what to do when you trip a trap, okay? Right? You roll the die, and then those things happen. You want to get a 6, right, to evade the trap. And then on the left side, it's all of your different stuff that happens here when you try to open something, right? And it doesn't look clear, but it really totally is on there, right? Like the sack says roll a die, 1 and 2 equals 1, 3 and 4 equals 2, 5 and 6 equals 3, silver. The crate, it's your loot score, right? So you're rolling a single die, adding your torch score to it. If it's greater than or equal to 5, take an item card. The barrel, loot, roll, it has to be a 6 or better, and that's take a card and you gain a torch point because you broke down the barrel, right? It is written, it is all there. Chests can only be opened with keys or thieves' tools, it says, right? Tools, right? And that is draw 2 cards, choose 1, discard the other, and take a silver. The tomb is your loot roll has to be 8 or better, and you get 2 loot items. The campfire is heal 1, gain 1 torch points. And the enemy is whatever it says on the enemy card. So it is all there. It's just a little weird to read the first time you're looking at it, but it's there. So anyway, we're going to roll and find out how much silver we got in the very first room of this place. We got a 4. It means we have 2. So we got 2 silver. I'm going to take this right over here. Now, you're supposed to keep it here, with your dude. Because if you die, you lose it. But I'm whatever, just to kind of keep track of it, I'll throw it over here on my little stash card, right? Whatever. These look a little red. They are definitely different than those, though. Hopefully this is all clear as we go. Okay, so we've done that, right? So that theoretically was round 2, right? So I went 1 round in to walk 4 spaces. Round 2, I walked 4 spaces and looted. So theoretically, we have another round. Now, one of the other things, I don't remember if it says it on here. I don't think so. I probably cut it off wrong. But you can choose to end your turn. You can just be like, you know what, I'm doing nothing this turn, right? That's incredibly exploitable for solo mode because every single time that I'm going to go into a new room, I'm going to end my turn before I walk in so that I take 1 step and it's 1 movement out of 4, right? Hopefully that makes some sense. Let's just go up to begin with here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this time it just happened to work out. That's the end of round 3. Now round 4, I'm gonna take 1 step. That means we have to draw now 1 dungeon card and burn a torch, right? So we're gonna drop the torch down to 2. We're gonna flip this up here. Oh boy, I don't think I've actually ever seen this card before. So you can see there's 1 enemy. The sword's down here. There's a campfire. There's a treasure chest and a crate. And we can align this either this way or this way. We cannot align it this way. That is not a valid choice. So it truly doesn't really matter. So that's 1, right? That was 1 move. 2, 3. So I can actually go over here. So let's go ahead and put the campfire down. We'll put the little loot things down. And then if I go 2, 3, 4, I'll be right there to fight. Let's see what we're going to fight. We're going to fight a plague rat. So the plague rat, now I got to find these little guys. I mean, I guess it truly doesn't matter. It's 1 enemy. I think all this matters way more when you've got, multiple people there. But again, you're going to lose these in your black cubes. So there's our little plague rat. All right, now I didn't have to run up and attack him, but hey, I kind of want to. Also, cartographer here. Remember, our quest, what I'm trying to accomplish, this easy quest is explore 6 halls. That doesn't mean, like, take all their loot out of them. It just means have 6 more cards out here. This is not a hall. This is a gate. So there is a difference, okay? So we're up against the plague rat. I think we can probably deal with this. Now, what we don't want is we don't want the plague rat to hit us. That would be super bad mojo for us. Okay, I had this white cube over on the torch, which it shouldn't have been. That's not how that reads. Okay. It belonged on the tools, and I messed up when I put them back. Okay, so Plague Rat gets a +0 to its attack. It's not going to need to move. It has a 0 torch, and I didn't talk about the torch yet because I hate it, and then it only has 1 hit point. So what I need to do is not get hit by the Plague Rat. I have a +1 to my attack because I am big, strong warrior. Now I need the red die to be higher than the other die. Oh, it's not, but I got a +1, so I got 2. So we killed the plague rat. Yay. Okay. Oops. We killed the plague rat, and at the bottom here it tells you what its loot is. It had 1 silver piece, right? Because we're in a silver mine, right? So of course that's what it has. So I get 1 silver piece wherever it went, right here. Okay. So I'm just gonna throw that over there. We're just gonna pretend that's my little pouch. Great. Now, see, this is where it gets a little weird again. Like, there's no reason. I'm not poisoned. I killed it. It didn't hit me, so I didn't get poisoned or diseased, rather. There's no reason for me to count turns here at this point, right? And walking steps. There's just no point to it, right? And this is where, and I hate to say it, is I think this is a really good game. Not solo, though. I think it's missing some sense of urgency or something with the solo mode. I don't know. It just... I've enjoyed it here, but it's just a little weird because now I can go and do everything. So let's go ahead and let's loot this little crate. So how does our crate work, right? I don't even move my guy when I'm sitting here playing by myself because there's no point in it, right? There's nothing in this room. Now, if you had other people and they're spreading out, the dungeon is alive, right? So there's enemies moving all around, and there's all kinds of stuff to do. In this case, that's not what's happening here. So I think the way to play this, and I haven't tried it yet, so even though I'm leveling this criticism at it based on 5 solo plays of 1 character, I think I'm going to try a party next and see if it's really good, because I suspect it might be. Okay, so we're going to go to the crate. This is a loot roll of 5, right? So before I do that, though, the crate is a d6 plus my torch. So I'm going to blow this torch, right away. Okay, because I'm already down 1. So that says torch attribute. That's the symbol, like the like heater shield looking thing, is attributes right here. +1 to my torch. Okay, so I'm gonna whip this torch out of my bag, and I'm gonna go boom back to 3 torches. So whatever I roll is gonna be a +3, and I need a 5. Oh my god, I have the worst rolls in this game for loot, by the way. I succeeded, though, so because it was a crate, I get myself 1 item from the top of the item deck. And by the way, this item deck is pretty fat. It's pretty mighty. It really is, right? There's a lot of stuff in there. So that's cool and all. It does seem like I see a lot of the same things, though. So right off the bat, oh, I got a weapon. A mighty flail. I promise you, I shuffled those. I tried to do it on camera and I forgot. So mighty flail. So I'm going to equip that immediately. That's a pretty good find in a crate. And you can see here, so it says attribute of attack +1. So I'm just going to bump that little cube up to a +2. So that's awesome, right? Now, that's essentially it for gear in the game. You can get 2 runes. You can get a greater rune and then a regular rune off of that, or just a regular rune, or just a great rune, and it adjusts something else by +1 each one. Okay, so now let's head on over here, and I'm going to avoid the campfire, I think, for now. I can always come back here, because again, the turns are made up and the rounds don't matter, right? So we have a treasure chest here. Now the treasure chest, I'm going to leave closed. I'm going to leave that on the board, I think. I'm going to leave that on the board. And the reason why is it would burn one of my 2 key uses right now. And if I remember, this is the hardest thing, is it took me to learn this, is we're not here to screw around and become all powerful. We're here to complete this quest and hightail it out here, right? So that we can come back and fight another day with some cool new gear, and we get more powerful as we go. We get skills, we get these runes, we get the knowledge things, right? We get these abilities, right? Like, you get more powerful, but you're not in here to get powerful in one run. You're in here to just slowly work your way up and work your way through the titles to get yourself the abilities and things. So, okay, at least level 3. Okay, so we're going to leave that now, and again, we're going to say, oh, it took me 2 rounds to go over here, and then I'm going to end my turn right here. Therefore, I have a new round for whatever round it is now. I'm going to take my 1 step in, which means I'm going to burn another torch, so I go back down to 2. We're going to flip this up here. Ooh, a trap. Okay. So there it is. There's a trap right in the middle. I have to either go a different direction, or, like this way, or I can go spring the trap, or I can try to go around it or whatever. I don't necessarily have to do anything, but I do have to enter the hall, right? I took 1 step in, and I found a trap. I found a tomb. Oh, that's cute. I just realized the tombs have 2 items in it, and they're 2 squares in size. How did I never realize that before? So I don't have to go to this thing, right? The problem is you're burning torches left and right otherwise. But remember, we're here for the quest. This is where I lose sight of it, because I think, oh, loot. There's not good loot in this deck. This is not that game, right? So let's say, okay, forget it. Let's go this direction then, right? I peeked in. I said, nope, floor's trapped. I'm out of here. I need to explore some more, right? So now we're up to 2 on our cartographer. We're going to go in here, so we're down to 1 torch already. Okay, we're going to go 3 on our cartographer skill. There's an enemy and a bag of money in here. Okay, so let's put this, and this one kind of doesn't matter either. Just like so. So we have a bag of money, and we have a venomous spider. You watched me shuffle these things, I'm certain, right? There's a spider in here. Okay. So now, I mean, we could be cute. It only moves 5 spaces, so it can't even get to me right now. It has a +0 on its attack. I have a +2 now. I'm actually feeling very good about that. What I want to find in here is a backpack, because that gives you 2 more slots. Okay, so let's just go here, and we'll say that's my. So I went 1, 2, 3, and I don't think I saw any rules about looting. Like I think I can loot. I think the only thing I can't do when an enemy is nearby is rest. I think that's the only thing I can't do. So I'm gonna go. So that was my 1 step in, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna loot this bag. And remember, it's just a sack, so I can just roll and just take whatever I get. It's just some money. That's all we found. It's a little bit of cash. We found $2. It looks like 2 silver. I mean, it is a silver mine after all, right? Okay, so that's what we've got there. But now my turn is over, and it's now the dungeon's turn. And the dungeon, this is where the dungeon gets to move. So the spider has a movement of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, one of the things that bothers me, I never even got to all of these, did I? I stopped at the second one. I was complaining about it. When a lost map is used to reveal a new dungeon card that contains enemies, they will remain stationary until someone enters the hall. So like, there's an item you can find. It's like a map scrap essentially, and it lets you grab a map piece and put it out there, which is awesome and all. Except for all the enemies in there are somehow in like a weird little time bubble, or whatever, and like they don't react on the dungeon turn at all. That's fine, I guess. And the reason why I accept that one is because I tell myself I am making noise as I go through this dungeon, and they can't hear me. I see the map, I know the room is over there. I've gone in there, so I haven't made noise, so I haven't alerted them. It's like they have an aggro range or something, right? What else was there? The goblins, this one, and I brought this up for a reason, because of the trap. Goblins can pass through traps unharmed, as they are the ones who set up those traps. However, they cannot unlock any locked doors. What about rats and spiders? Do they die to traps? I have no idea. In the manual, it only says like they just take the most direct route to you. Well, does that mean they just step on traps too? I guess. I have no idea. The merchant. This is the weirdest line that's in here. The traveling merchant deals various goods but does not accept partially used items. So you're telling me I can't sell a weapon to the merchant if I've used it? That just seems so weird to me. And what? All the loot in this dungeon is like brand new and pristine? How did it get there? Like somebody used it and died there, and now I'm picking it. Anyway, the whole thing is just bizarre to me. So there's just some strange stuff. Anyway, so the spider moved closer to me, and now it's back to my turn. Now I can't outrun this spider, but I can certainly kite it around for a while. But there's no point in that. So I may as well just go 2 steps and fight the spider. So let's take a look at the spider. And again, I think that it's just a weak solo experience with a single character. I think the way to do this is 2 or 3 characters and the dungeon pops and comes alive, I think. Not that it's not fun still. That's the other thing. It's just that you have to like adjust the rules slightly to make it kind of flow better is what I'm really trying to say. All right, so I've got I'm supposed to do combat. I got a 3 and it got a 2. I smoked this fool, thank goodness, because the last thing I want to do is get poisoned. And we can see down here it has 1 silver piece. Look at me, I'm going to be rich. Look at that, I already have 6 pieces of silver. I'm gonna fix that. I knew this was gonna be a bad idea. Okay, so we've killed the spider, and again, that doesn't really matter what I do or how many turns. I could come back over here just like that. You just kind of have to understand that that's the way it's going to work, right? I guess we're going to come over here. Now, unfortunately, is that my last torch? 1, 2, 3. I started with 3. I burned my 1 torch. And see, now searching sucks for me. So, yeah. That's a bummer, because I'm going to be out of torches if I go there. So if I go here and rest, right, that's a short rest, the fire goes out, I gain 1 torch and 1 hit point, but I'm not hurt yet, and that's the use of that. So then I come back over here, and now I at least have a 2 torch rating. So we're going to burn 1 of those and come down here, and we have... Oh, I hate this one. I hate this one. I hate this one. Yeah. Especially when I don't have a lot of torches. Now, I believe this is blocked off. I believe this is the outside world, and so this is just a dead end. That, my friends, is a... There's an enemy in there. That's a barrel, okay? So we're going to want to go get that barrel because we want a 6 or higher, and we're only at a +1 right now. Oh, God. So I basically need to roll a 5. I rolled a 2. That sucks, right? So there was nothing in the barrel, and I got no... torch from it? That's awful, see? That's awful. You would think you would get the torch aspect of it anyway, since it's a barrel. It's not like it doesn't have wood inside of it. It's made of wood. There's an enemy here as well who it looks like might be trapped. It's a goblin spearman, so this is what he looks like. Now, the awful part about the goblin spearman is that he has a torch rating of 1, and I'll explain that in a second. So you can see up here, he's got this little symbol here, and we're going to find that, and we're going to put this guy right here. And boy, howdy, do I hope I have this written here somewhere. Combat dungeon. I might not. Enemies. Goblins. Special power of the goblins. If there are 2 or more goblins in the same hall, they gain +1 on their attack. If the number of goblins drops to 1 in the hall, they lose this attack bonus, right? I don't have the important part on here. So basically, the way a torch works on an enemy is a second enemy shows up. Another enemy shows up, right? So we now have a goblin spearman. 1, 2, 3, 4 in here. I'm up to 4. I'm doing all right, though. And then we not only have that, but we also have a goblin guard. And they're really tough, those guys, right? But 0 torches on that guard. And believe me, I have had more than one occasion where multiple dudes have showed up because they have torches. It's like a party of goblin jerks walking through. Now, it also says to go ahead and assign these guys items. I'm supposed to be able to see what these items are, I suppose, because technically I'm in the hall with a torch, but it feels to me like I'm not in their same hall really, right? Because if you look at it, I can't get to them. I don't know. It's another weird thing. I'm just going to say that I can't see them. I don't really know they're there, maybe. Okay, so great. That room was a bust. Now I'm in a real predicament. Now I'm going to need to go 1 more room up. It's going to burn my last torch, and now we're in the dark. So there is that. We're going to do this. Oh, no. Well, I mean, I got another shot to roll a 5, yeah? There's another one. I didn't actually know that this one was in there. So again, I need to no, I have to roll a 6 now. I have 0 torches. I have to roll a 6. Oh, it bounced out of the thing. All right, well, here, I've got another red die nearby. There we go. I even made like a little blocker to have that not happen to me. I got a 2, not a 6, so that's a bummer, man. Okay, so here's what we've got. Ooh, I have more of those dice right here. Look at that, how convenient. Okay. So again, I failed. Now, I have 3, 4, 5 places visited. Technically, I only need 1 more, and I'm bailing out of here, but we have a new problem. If 8 goblins are killed, or every single time your torches hit 0, and this is another rule I can't wrap my head around. A boss comes out. Okay, so that's these 4 cards over here. The Goblin Chief just came out, and he is spawned at the gate. So I came in right there, so he is spawned right there. So the problem now is that if I did get a torch, and then I went to another room, you have to burn a torch when you enter a hall, I would trigger a second boss. And I literally could have 4 bosses running around here. This is supposed to be like the time mechanic for it. And it's just weird to me. The whole thing is just weird. So now we have to keep track of this guy, and he moves 5 spaces per turn. So we're going to keep track of this guy up here. Maybe not. Maybe over here. So he is going to... God, he has a +3 on his attack too. Okay. But now we have to keep track of what we're doing, right? So I walked in 1 step, and you can interrupt your move to do stuff. So I've used 1 movement, searched. I have 3 more of movement. So I can go 1, 2, 3. And this is super annoying because now I have to start counting moves. And now he gets to move 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I guess I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And I don't have to burn a torch because I don't have one. Oh, are you serious? Okay, well, we'll do 4 and just go back a room. Now, our quest is done, but our problem is we're about to get murdered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, God. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're in combat now with the Goblin Chief. I'm going to move these little jerks out of the way so I can see this guy a little better. So he gets a +3. So we're going to die here is what's going to happen, right? We've completed our quest, but we're going to die. This guy has a big +3. I can't believe it. Thank goodness he doesn't have a torch. Okay, so I'm gonna do this a little bit differently for their hit points. I'm gonna put cubes down on each one so that it's a little bit easier to see, perhaps. So here we go. You know what's good news, though, is there's no other goblin there because he would get the goblin bonus. It's written on the card. Wow, he would be a +4. I am at a +2. I didn't even get to use any of my cool stuff. Oh, I didn't even put the stuff out here. I still think it looks cool when you get all your little cubes out here. So oh my god! So I actually hit him once. That's amazing. Okay, I didn't think I would. Oh no, he has a 7 and I have an 8. Whoa! Goodness, this is not going to be great. I'm gonna die. So yeah, he hit me. So I'm gonna go from 8 to 7. We're gonna do a couple rounds of this before we try to. The problem is he runs faster than I do. It's like pointless. Ooh, 6 and 1. So I got him again. Maybe we can beat this boss, and then we are hightailing it out of here. Did I win again? He has +3, so he has a 4, and I have a 5. Oh my god, we're gonna pull this off. All right, I just need one more hit. This has got to happen in 7 rolls, right? Famous last words. I can't believe it. I pulled it off. The dice don't hate me today. Oh. Okay. All right, because he has a 6 and I have an 8. Okay, that's amazing. So you can see his loot is 2 items and 2 silver. So I get 2 silver and 2 item cards. Oh, I should have tucked him underneath him when he came out. What did we get here? Oh, interesting. See, useless garbage. All right, so we got a rune of speed. And the worst part is so technically I can't pick one of these up, right? Technically, one of these two drops to the ground because I don't have space for it, right? So we may as well leave the lost map dropped on the ground, and I'm going to take the rune of speed, and then I'm going to equip it, right? So this is a basic rune. The other ones say greater rune. This says rune of speed, so it'll up my movement +1, and I can put it there. And yeah, you can remove runes and stuff like that, but now my speed is 5, so I can actually keep pace with that guy now. The lost map is on the ground right in front of me. Technically, it's right here. So rules as written say I have to move, pick up, and then continue my moves, right? I do think that's weird. I can't pick up something I'm adjacent to, but yeah. And then so let me just so you can see the lost map how it works, right? So if I pick it up, because I can only have 3 items here, and I burn the lost map, I can't believe it. Usually I have a stack of discards. I'm going to have just the lost map in here. Oh, and the torch. I threw the torch to the side because it's a starting item. Actually, I'm going to put it in the discard. It's a starting item only when you create your character. Not every run. Only when you create your character. Okay, you can buy some from this jerk, though. Where are you? This guy for $4. Okay, so if I pick that lost thing up, and then what you get to do is take one. Oh, it's a gate. I didn't even notice. See, that's why I don't like to have them on the top. So you can take it and put one adjacent to where you're at. Well, let's say I picked up the map and came into this room, and then I put it adjacent to where I'm at. So I can put this thing right here, and if there were any enemies in there, they would not be aware that I'm in the dungeon. They wouldn't be moving around, okay? But I'm glad I did this. So now we have... Oh, that's so dumb. I just realized I'm on the right side of this to avoid the trap. I'm not sure I I ever had the brain power to realize that before. So, okay, now that we're here... God, I have no torches. I'm wandering around the dark. I don't know what's going on. We could try to roll this, but I don't have a way to roll an 8, right? Because I can't roll an 8 on a d6 with +0 torches. But I can come over here, and I can. Oh, wait a minute. There's 2 chests there actually. Okay, let's do this. Let's roll for the crate first, right? So the crate again is a 5, right? So I have to roll +0, so I need a 5 or a 6. I got a 4. Okay, so now this sucks because I can't risk it. I can't risk my master key. They're not cheap. To buy another master key, it would cost me 8 silver. I only have 8 silver, right? That's not what I wanted. I'm sorry. This is what I'm looking for. So the chest... oh, that's right. I don't have to roll for these. I have a key. Duh. 2 item cards, keep 1. Is it worth trying to get some goodies? That's the million... You know what? Let's do it. Let's go to both of these keys. So there's one here, and we'll go up here. We'll burn our master key, right, 2 times to open 2 treasure chests. So we're out of master key now. We've got 1 chest there and 1 chest there. That's right. I'm stupid. Okay, so I get to pick 2, or draw 2 and choose 1. A backpack! Right? Oh, this is super good and has saved me before, but a backpack takes up an inventory slot, but gives me 3 inventory slots, if that makes sense. So I go from 3 to 5, is what I'm saying, basically, right? Okay, so I have that. I don't get the potion. And the second treasure chest had some tools, and I was hoping for a master key. Although, ooh, see, this is tough. Tools are great and all, but that's a great rune there. That gives me more speed. And I want more damage, but at this point, you know, hey, man, so I'm going to dump the tools, but I can attach the great rune, great rune of speed, and now I can move 6 spaces per turn, right? So that's pretty awesome. And then I can just simply escape the dungeon. I go back to town. I go visit the quest master. Where are you? The quest master here. And look, buddy, I completed the cartographer quest. So give me the cash. So the reward is 5 coins, right? So I'm going to take 5 silver right here. Boom. Okay. So now I've got 13 silver, and I am a vagabond. Sweet, right? Because I got my level 1 quest done. Vagabond requires the completion of an easy difficulty quest, which that was. Sweet, okay? Now, I can go shopping. So, I am going to go to the innkeeper and pay her 5, the 5 silver I just got, to get 3, healed for 1 and 3 torches, right? That's super worth it because a single torch is 4 silver, but that's the card. So yeah, there we go. The innkeeper hooked me up. The rumors, what have I got left? I've got my 8 left. Okay, let's go to the tree. Remember, we go to the tree and we can meditate under the tree, right? So we're gonna say, we are now. Do we want? Let's see. I'm vagabond, so I gotta make sure I'm on the right side because one side is Pathfinder, one side is vagabond. This has barrel roll. That's amazing. Okay, but I'm a big fan of this one though. Okay, so let's take this. Let's take this one here. Path of the Iron. I'm a vagabond, so this is my power now. Swift Strike. So after 4 successful attacks, I get to do an extra just 1 damage in there, right? And this can go up here. And then we gotta go visit the dude again, the quest master guy. I forgot all about it. I need a new quest. So let's just take, what do we want here? Oh, that stinks. Is that, oh man, that stinks. Okay, so I can take, I don't understand what headhunter is. Collect 4 heads. I would say that sounds like you kill 4 goblins, right? Headhunter, collect 4 heads. What the heck does that mean? I don't have any idea what that means. Because I know on the hard quests, defeat all 4 goblins. So I don't know why an easy quest would be that way. I will say this, though. The book does realize that some of these things are not super obvious, and it does explain the quest somewhere. It even breaks down all of the item cards. All of the item cards are on there. Oh, man, it's hard to find. I don't like how the book is laid out either for the most part. So, quest... Yeah, it's not with the Questmaster part like you'd think, but I'm sure that I saw it in here somewhere. I guess not. I'm sure I did because I had a question about one of them, and I don't remember how. In fact, the one I had a question about is this one right here. So you see how that says crates easy, loot 3 crates. Let me explain to you that it is not easy to loot 3 crates because I found it in the book here somewhere. It is successful loots. It is specifically not just, hey, I found 3 crates, which I actually kind of feel like it should be. It's that you actually have to. How funny! I can't find it in here. It's that you actually have to. Oh, I did find it. Successfully loot the crates, right? So you can see here it's called crates successfully loot 3 crates. Even though in the book under looting, it doesn't say you have to be successful. Loot is an action, right? And then it says if you're successful, you get something from it. I still looted it even though it was empty, right? So I don't know. I feel a little bit weird about that one, but if we go back to the PDF, it does. It's on page 9. It looks like all the quests are broken down. Let's see. Explore 6 halls by revealing 6 dungeon cards. Defeat 4. See, Headhunter. Defeat 4 goblins. Goblin Bane is defeat all 4 types of goblins. I see why that's more difficult. Place the corresponding tokens. Yeah, there's extra tokens that aren't out here. Okay. I think we could do that. So unlock 2 doors doesn't sound too bad, right? But you'll notice we came across 0 locked doors in this particular run. So, God, Alchemist sounds impossible. Collect all 3 potions? That's so much loot. So, maybe we kill some goblins? Maybe we loot some crates? We'll never loot the crates. Let's go goblin hunting on my next run, right? So that's this guy's next goal. Would be to, I mean, I can go to different, route here and do the keys too, but I would need to buy keys and then save the keys. This is just killing goblins for fun and taking their stuff because they're goblins in a dungeon. Anyway, it's a fun little game, but I think that with multiple people, it would be really good because the dungeon would be alive. And solo, I have to make these weird little just like concessions for the rules and everything, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. Like, oh, what did the Goblin Spearman have? A great rune of speed. See, I already have that. And then 2 silver coins, right? So I don't know how I would see that he would have 2 silver coins because I had a torch when I went in there. Anyway, it's a solid game. I think I like the mechanics of it. I just think that solo doesn't feel as good as like almost any other solo like dungeon crawl type thing. Like just it's just a little weird. It's just a little bit too just you're just rolling the dice and flipping the card to see what happens. Like there's almost no reason for me to move around, right? Just barely that there is. And so that's maybe my biggest concern with it, but I think with multiple dudes, maybe that's the key, right? And I am no stranger to multi-handed. If that's the way to play this game, then that's the way that I might be playing it from here forward. I've given this a shot enough times, and I have the same feeling every time. So, plus, how big would it be if your 2 dudes took off in different directions? Although that seems like a good way to die. There's like cooperative mode. There's a lot of weird modes for this. Like, if we go back to the manual here, solo mode, and that's the only time solo is mentioned in the entire manual, by the way. And then there's a cooperative. That's kind of cool too, actually. Competitive. Keep their item cards hidden until they're used. The player who has the most coins wins. Yeah, whatever. I'd be playing cooperative, obviously, and then just taking a band of adventurers through the dungeon just to see what happens. And then there's an arena mode thing. Like, that's super cool if that's what you're into, but, I won't be doing that here ever. But yeah, it's very interesting. I'll give you that. Like, it's because it's so tight, right? Like, there's not a lot of fluff to it. You're just in the dungeon doing the thing, right? It doesn't differ from Rogue Dungeon terribly, right? In that regard, right? It's just a very, very, very light dungeon crawler, I guess. But no, it's enjoyable. I've kept it on the table for a while now. So thanks everybody for watching. You can get back to watching K-pop Demon Hunters now. I know this has been taking the world by storm. It's all I'm hearing about anymore. And remember, games are made for everyone's recreation. I'll see you next time.